George, what's brought you to this bench?
To this bench. Well, I'm over in London doing an acting class in Actors East. So currently I'm flying in 2 days a week. I arrive in Tuesday morning and fly out on a Thursday. And I'm staying in Angel there. So I'm staying in a hostel in Angel. And the reason I'm staying there is because I get to walk by this canal up to Haggerton every day.
So you appreciate the water as
I
part of the
do.
city?
Oh, I do. I mean, yeah, that's what life's living for, isn't it? You know, it's, yeah. So this is beautiful. I mean, whenever I come to London, I like to get down to the Thames as well. Something about that old Father Thames always kind of makes me happy. But because I'm in and out, so the canal has kind of taken its place recently. Yeah.
When you're walking along the water or sitting on the bench, does it put you in a restful frame of mind? Do you relax your thoughts, or do you problem solve? How do you spend your free time here? Because you say you're here for an acting course. Is there a lot to mull over about what you're learning? And
there is a lot, but I think coming here is probably not actively engaged with that. I suppose it's going on in the background, right? So it's not a deliberate process. There might be something I'm thinking of, like today, like why I sit here on this bench, particularly right now, is I was reading something, and I was wondering what the Greek word for womb was, so I sat down with my phone.
What a great reason! Wow.
So there's actually 3 words I found out. Yeah.
Do you remember how to say them?
One, it's hystera,
Oh, okay. So
as in hysteria, which is like,
and hysterectomy.
and hysterectomies.
Yeah.
What are the other 2? And Delphos,
Right.
Delphis or Delphos,
And
metra. So
metra.
as in meter, measure, because it was the woman's period with the moon is a span of time. So that's what measure comes from, and the measure of a pregnancy and the measure of the menstruation. And Delphos is womb.
So 3 quite different words with different meanings and thoughts on them. Why the Greek? What was the book you were reading?
I'm reading it's a Jungian analyst book. Marion Woodman, who is amazing. I just find it really, really interesting, really inspiring, and then really grounded, and kind of what I try to aspire towards, I suppose. Very much about symbols and dreams and how they regulate us, and trying to get over our blockages to the unconscious and to be able to open that out.
That's very exploratory.
Yeah.
You're not afraid to go there?
I think I am pretty afraid. I think what I deal with mostly are my defences. And this is why the acting course is great, right? So you run up into against my better wishes or desires. I run up against my blockages every bloody day. I live in them.
Wow, that's quite challenging.
Yeah.
To go in there and know that it's going to be kind of like, what am I going to have to overcome today? This is not a walk in the park.
No, it's slow, and so you're failing most of the time. It's that Beckett thing, fail better.
Oh, I don't know that. No.
Yeah, so I forget where he wrote it, but it's fail better. So, it's
failing is where we learn. We don't really learn by succeeding, I don't think.
Yeah.
The lessons are usually the ones that you get wrong. Does the book and the acting, do they connect, or are they kind of separate things which just happen to kind of slightly coalesce?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the book is kind of the goal. I think the acting, the training probably not so much, but where it's going, I think it does. I think it's opening creativity. It's being able to express your creativity as uninhibited as possible, but then realizing that inhibition has limits. And so, I think in the acting, it's about the other person. It's always you're acting with the other person, and so the highest ideal is to get great acting out of your partner. So it's a shared process of creativity between 2. And so there's limits because you're limited by you and the person you're with. And so it's kind of working with the obstructions, because the obstructions are the goal. And if you can get the obstructions, you work through the obstructions into greater creative freedom. So I think that's kind of where it over.
So in terms of you yourself, are you hoping that the creative freedom is within you, and then you can share it with the other person? Because I'm assuming, let's say that you get to the ideal place yourself, and if you say it's all about two people, then there's always going to be a blockage if the other person hasn't gone through the same process.
Oh yeah, or you, right? So it's either side. So I was trying to get awareness toward those blockages, and maybe sometimes it's your blockage comes up, and maybe sometimes it's their blockage comes up. And it's to be happy to swim in both, you know, and drown in both.
Do you sometimes have to kind of almost reframe the blockages as positive things and not see them as negative?
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like everything within the blocks and the openings and the, you know, using the image of water that we got here, you know, we've got locks and then we've got flowing water. You want to be able to kind of swim around the locks, move around the locks, but leave them there because they serve a purpose?
Well, that's true, but it's also about relaxing and you know, in a way the locks don't exist, but we need them. So, and it's getting comfortable in the discomfort of those locks, you know, until you don't need them. But they protect you, right? So it's like the father thing. The locks, they protect us, but they entrap us at the same time. So it's kind of always a very delicate balance of, you know, how far out can you go? How far can you swim without having to come back? You know, a bit like that. What's that film? You know.
I'm assuming also, if you're talking about the book, that about Jung, which I'm unfamiliar with. I mean, I roughly know what he stood for, but I'm assuming that the blocks you might not have put in place yourself, so you don't even know why they're there.
Absolutely. I mean, there's collective blocks and there's individual blocks. So there's the society we live in that have been created over centuries, and then there's your personal parents who that's your groundwork, which you had no choice about. You just inherited that. And so then slowly by trying to become aware of those, and then through doing that, being able to open that to you so that you're, rather than being shaped either by your instincts inside or by demands outside, that you can kind of melt these frozen structures into like your individual bottle. So you're kind of always trying to heat the ice of collective structures into the water of your personality. So that's more fluid and that can dissolve things and enable you to kind of navigate your life with more ease and more creative. I mean, you're not dealt a sentence or a judgment, but you have the capacity to create a more fulfilling life. And by doing that for yourself, you do it for others, I think.
So there is an inevitable positive future going through the process you're going through. You're not worried about it maybe going down a negative side and suddenly going, oh my God, I'm dark inside. Or, you know, these blocks are actually a sign of, you know, are you seeing it as a constantly positive process, what you're doing?
Well, it's always just dangerous, right, on either side. So one can become caught up in one's unconscious, you know, then you're kind of acting out of a psychotic or an archetypal place where there's no individual response and you're kind of steamrolling the world, or you can be steamrolled by the world or become a tyrant on the outside. But it's becoming awareness of the darkness in a suitably. So this is why a lot of the work for the Jungian stuff and Marion Woodman is symbols. So the symbols kind of transform stuff rather than it's kind of cooked a little bit for you, so that you're not dealing with stuff in the raw, so you're able to kind of manage it in a meal-sized portion. You know, it's all about testing those boundaries where you're a little out of your depth, so something creative can come in and tweak it a bit.
Give me a kind of a simple example, maybe not non-personal, but a theoretical example of the symbol thing.
Man, it's hard.
Sorry. Yeah. We don't have to if it's...
It's really simple. I mean, it's like the sun is father and the moon is mother. And then... and so like the sun is hot and it's light and it's conscious and it's clear. But if it's too much, it becomes drying. and punishing and withering, and it kind of kills life. And the moon then is kind of dark and receptive and cold and always changing, prone to the phases, all of that. And so like that's kind of our emotional and our logical makeup. And and I suppose they're kind of the cosmic forces, so they're kind of, so they might be the end. I don't know. So it's about, so they're kind of, so it's about seeing these cosmic things, which are how, say, our world is ordered on a grand scale, and then by personally experiencing them on a personal scale, you might be able to balance those forces within yourself. So, and realizing how much you can take of them or how little you can take of them, and then to act from yourself out of that and kind of see where one needs to be expanded or pulled back or express more or pulled back from, or what needs to be sacrificed or held onto by using how they might appear in a dream and bring them into your everyday. I don't know if that's a very good example, but
to me it sounds complicated is maybe the wrong word, but it sounds like a whole kind of constellation which you kind of have to slightly take a deep breath for.
Oh, you really do. I mean, this stuff is not done in a hurry.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime's work, And
when did you start?
I think I really started. I had a breakdown when I was. I did an MA when I was, I don't know, about 26, and then at 28 I had a total breakdown really. And the only place I could find solace in the world was in a Jungian group in Dublin.
So a collective human experience was part of the way out?
Well, I think I was lost. I didn't know. I had nowhere to stand. I walked in like an angry, sick dog into this kind of civilized room, and they accepted me. They didn't ask me any questions. They just let me sit in the corner and growl and whimper. And over a number of years, I kind of realized. It was. I'd never understood the word could be negotiated that way. That way of living in the world, that kind of mythic depth, that kind of mythic capacity, that kind of fairy tale and symbolic thing actually they weren't just stories for entertainment, but they were actually like how we emotionally are relating to our lives and to others all the time.
Were the other people in the group also whimpering angry dogs coming in?
Oh, no.
Or were they all coming from different angles? Was there someone leading the group? How did it function?
There was a leader, her name because the Jungian Society in Dublin, Jaspinder Garneman, and so she'd been involved with that for years. And then there was like, I think at that particular, the one I went to there was a lot of, so she was in Armagh at the time, and there was a lot of ladies, all older ladies from Armagh, Northern Ireland and Dublin. And it was very much to do with just myths and sitting down and talking about the myths. And so they had a wealth of knowledge. Yeah. But and then what was great, they didn't try, I wasn't treated as a problem or anything. It was just, I'm part of this now and we're going on about our business, and that's grand. I mean, I wasn't in there trying to get answers or anything. I was just...
So, right, so you didn't... Okay, that's interesting. You weren't trying to get answers.
I tell you what, it's interesting, right? Because I suppose I was so caught in my rational mind. I thought the world existed rationally, and I wanted the world to exist rationally. And I'd driven myself out of my mind by trying to rationalize everything. And then I've come at the end of it, like I didn't finish the MA. I had to drop out of it because I couldn't function anymore. I was all full up, literally accumulated too much and couldn't process it anymore. And then I came across a thing on Jung. It was to do with Leda and the Swan that kind of really struck me as, wow, that's what I need. It's the first instance without knowing it myself that I realized I needed healing and not success.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then I saw maybe a month later, after reading that thing, oh, this Jung guy's interesting. I wonder what he's on about. That's weird. And then there was I was going to Trinity College, which wasn't where I was studying, but I just happened to be in there one day, and there was a poster for the Jung group in Ireland, and I thought that sounds really interesting. I just read about him, and that's how I ended up there. And so I've also tremendous loyalty to that group after that, because they took me in, you know, and yeah, that was a, you know, a little island in the ocean.
But there must be some success with it because you stuck with it.
Oh yeah, I think it. Yeah, I think it enabled me to heal. It gave me the structure to kind of navigate my way through what was happening, and to not judge it. It's okay. I mean, what they showed me, that it was okay to be in it and not to kind of feel like I have to. Everything's okay. Okay, it's a mess.
We're all a mess.
And we're all a mess, and that mess is okay. And to be given that ease, that comfort of okay, to be just cut a line, like okay, maybe there is no problem. Maybe because it was heavy, you know. So like you're struggling, which I think I find Jung. You're struggling with your existence and being okay to live, and it kind of showed me it was okay to live. And that's the part. That's what I judge stuff I read and the value it has is. When I'm absolutely messed up, will this give me a point of navigation or not? Will it get me through? I don't have to understand it. I don't have.
It's like a compass.
It's like a compass. It's like the still point. Does it give me the still point from where I can move on from?
And what for those of us who are unfamiliar with Jung, what's the kind of? I know it's a really simplistic to say. Can you simplify it? But what's the central point that Jung bases his thoughts on? I'm completely unfamiliar with the Jungian approach.
Yeah. I mean, I do have answers for this. I'm just not particularly eloquent today.
Very eloquent.
It's really to do with transformation. Because a lot of what he talks about is if you learn to relate to yourself, and yourself is like it's the gods inside, it's the unconscious, and like the unconscious, like a dream is really a photograph of reality as it is from your unconscious side, and that's always trying to help you out, but it has its own language, which it gives you an images, so it's always to do with images. So it's generally like kind of images. And these images are native to us, and probably the only thing you can trust are your own images. But then you need to be able to interpret them so that they make sense in the life around you. And that might mean like time is a bit fluid in them, but it's really kind of saying that there is an order, an implicate order in reality. And if we listen to that order and have trust, and it can knock out the world enough to kind of trust in, find out what's delicate and new in what the images are showing me, and if I cling to that, that will give me a truth. And that truth is not being imposed on anyone. There's nothing pushy or, imperative about it.
So an alternative or an opposite view to that would be waiting for the world to give you the meaning around you. So you go around trying to drink in what the world is giving you, and that lets you understand yourself. But this is kind of flipping it a bit and saying there's a language within you, there's an understanding within you, which actually will give you everything you need to navigate.
Exactly, and that's not definite answers, right? So it gives you just a point to negotiate from, a standpoint, something you can stand through that will endure. If you have enough faith in yourself, it will endure anything that's thrown at you from the outside. And the outside is the inside. I mean, the man who looks outside dreams, the man who looks inside awakens. That's a famous Jung quote, which is very beautiful.
That could be almost like an actor's in an actor's handbook.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're all trying to get there, trying to awaken in the dream, maybe. Yeah.
The acting that you're doing when you come over here for 2 days a week.
Yeah.
what's it giving you? What are you going through this course for, and what's the other side?
Yeah, no, it's very similar. Again, I think the acting has made me very aware of how ritualistic my emotional makeup is. Actually, there are habits that I'm kind of stuck in. And I think, again, it kind of comes back to that breakdown about not being in my body, being too much in my head. And what I really love about this course is it's about entering into the body and trusting the body and realizing that your body will lead you and you can follow after that. To trust the body. And I'm so cut off from what my body has been. So I was trying to get over that and kind of, turn that, and to just take that time to I feel like I'm not allowed time. And to take that, realize that the most valuable time you have is the time to let your body be, and to be at ease. To be at ease in any like the Meisner thing is that.
Is that an acting thing?
It's an acting process.
Right.
It's a training process.
Right.
And so that you can live truthfully under imaginary circumstances. So it's like being able to open to what's happening in front of you. And so you don't have to aggressively kind of attack it. It's more if you can kind of trust what's emerging in your body, the feelings that are emerging. You let that lead you in how you move, and then how you move is how you act, and how you act is how you think. And to do that, to follow the body, to trust the body has its own wisdom, and to let that, and to learn, so be curious about someone else and what you unfolds and what enables you to learn.
It sounds quite intentional. It sounds like, let's say you're in an acting stage room and other people are there and you're doing your thing. It sounds like you almost move within yourself, listening to your breathing, rather than declaiming from the pulpit.
Absolutely.
In a way.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the humility to be dictated by the other person, to be as truthful with the person you're with.
And yet acting is about acting a part.
Yeah.
So you're not acting yourself when you act. You're acting to a script, or you're acting to a dynamic.
Yeah.
And so you're...
The script is the meaning of it, right? That's what someone's thoughts have been shaped into an artistic heightened medium where the sense is condensed. But so that's your imaginary circumstances. The thing is but then you're trying to act as you. So you never perform in a way. You try to act truthfully to you. So you're always being yourself. So to remain yourself within, what you change is the circumstances you imagine that you're in.
Okay, so let's say you're playing Hamlet, a very well-known thing on the stage, a well-known part on the stage. You can still be yourself within Hamlet. You don't just have to try and be Hamlet.
No, you be yourself. You trust. The thing is accepting the circumstance. So finding a story or a situation in yourself that is real to you and motivates your emotional reality, that in some way configures to what Hamlet went through, even though you're not Danish or you're not a prince. And then playing that out and then let the audience, not necessarily even knowing, trusting those emotions, creating that circumstance, and then letting the audience make up their minds about what's happening. But you're acting truthfully for yourself in that situation. Character is words in a page.
I'm assuming that the end of the day, the end of a day here, you do the acting, you're reading your book, the end of the day, reflecting back, there's a lot to process, there's a lot to think about. Did I do this right? Did I move intentionally? There's a lot of sort of not self-criticism, but sort of, there must be a lot of judgment involved with yourself, and we're always quite hard on ourselves.
Yeah, but it's about dropping the judgment, really.
Is it? Okay.
It's about, it's better and worse. Some days you go backwards, some days you go forwards. But it's trying to, it's trying to get out of my head. Again, this is the trouble was my head, right? So it's trying to be in the body, and then when you're not trying to hold on to stuff anymore. You're just trying to be as real and as honest and truthful in any moment. Acting is just a series of moments. And so you're always just trying to be truthful and honest in a moment. And the more you can do that, the better, the more fulfilled your life will be, or the better performance will seem to be. So I think for me, it's a way of getting away from that. It's actually, and dropping that judgment gives you ease and freedom. So for me, it's all about trying to get strangely, that the more I do this, the less of the judgment comes into it, because You learn to get comfortable in being who you are and letting go of what anyone says about you. So, it's about, was I truthful and honest in that moment?
It kind of gives you a strength and an armour.
Yeah.
Let's say you're an actor, you perform in a stage play, 100 people see the stage play, that's 100 different opinions about the play that they've seen. But although you're acting for them, their subjective thoughts towards your acting are kind of not part of what you're aiming for.
Not really. I mean, of course, you want to the audience to enjoy themselves, but not really. I mean, hate you or love you, that's not really important. I suppose what's important is that they're moved and they go home and they get to think about their life and think about their values and think about their situation and maybe broaden or deepen a sense of truth in some way in their lives. I mean, that's the beauty, I think, of theatre, though, is it's a live thing. So the audience are part of your performance, consciously or unconsciously, are part of your performance. You've been given that. Every audience there's a different taste to every audience. You're doing the same thing for 100 days. It's always a different thing because you have a different audience, and they bring, I don't know, well over 50% of it, I think.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, and
I like
let yourself
that.
Be done by the audience.
I like that idea of the audience not just sitting there with their arms folded to be entertained, but they are going away with what you've done and reflecting on it. And
so you're a mirror for that moment.
Are you a jobbing actor? Are you acting all the time? Is that
No. I mean, I did a lot of amateur acting, and then I started doing Meisner study, and then I've done very little acting since I've actually been training. So I'm hoping to maybe go on after this, or maybe start auditioning maybe later in the year, maybe go back out there again. So it's kind of like finding your feet a bit more. So hopefully, but I'm not really sure. I'm not even sure why I'm doing it, you know.
Which is fine.
Yeah, or where it leads, which is for me, it's really why I like where I am. I'm really enjoying this moment where I don't know where it's leading or like the actual end goal. I'm hopefully will emerge out, but it's not a clear horizon just yet anyway.
What else is part of your life at the moment, as well as this?
I don't know. I'm working as a painter decorator, so that's kind of home painting. Like I do have a farm at home as well, so which I rent out. So there's that. That kind of enables me to be here.
So agriculture, painting and decorating are all part of the world.
All part of the mix at the minute,
Part
yeah.
of the mix.
Yeah.
Quite different from acting. I mean, the world of farmers. I can't imagine many farmers kind of sitting down and engaging with Jung. I might be wrong, but they might go, I haven't got time because I've got to get the cows in and plough the field. Is that a world that you can easily slip into their way of thinking? Let's say you're down the pub with a bunch of farmers. Are you just on their level at that point?
Oh, I've never been easy as a farmer. I can't say I've given myself too much. I've had a resistance. I've done it. I never felt. I mean, there's people all around me kind of going, "That's you're living in a heavenly situation." And for me, it's been very harsh. But I think it's maybe why I'm angry. It's like there's a discomfort in it, a bit of course I can. And then strangely, you can. I mean, you meld, I suppose. Maybe that's a chameleon. Maybe that's a bit of the act. It's like not knowing who I am, because I just my way traditionally of surviving was to just chameleonize into any situation I was in, where you kind of get the sense that you are acting in a very uncomfortable way, because you're being dishonest. You're being dishonest. Maybe but maybe that works. Right? Maybe it's the safest way.
Is it dishonest, or is it just being so? Isn't that socially normal to just slightly blend?
Yeah, I think so. But then also, I think Jung, strangely enough, is of the country. Rather, he's a peasant from the valleys of Switzerland, and there's a very humble aspect of Jung. I kind of like that. Jung likes bad books that reveal truths about people that are very open, that are honest. Whereas, like say, Freud writes brilliant literature about his own ideas maybe, and that's kind of and they both are useful. Certainly, he's more of the city, and Jung is more of the country, I think. And the whole mythic thing, the whole cosmic thing, there's an order of nature. If we can sit down and take the time to allow that to lead us and keep us in balance, always on balance with the cosmos, with nature. So I think Jung actually is quite. I think most farmers are very practical minded, and they haven't the time to be as dreamy, and that's where it kind of the everyday exigencies of survival probably.
And yet, when you're on a farm, you're in a tractor and you're ploughing a field, it can take a whole day. Or when you're trying to sort out livestock, it can take a long time. There's a lot of thinking time in farming.
That's right.
There's a lot of I'm sure there's a lot of personal philosophizing.
Yeah.
When you're on the quad bike trying to find the sheep.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Do you? But I'm interested with the kind of like discomfort you feel with the farm, like not feeling like it's. Is it good that you don't feel it's your environment, or does it feel like you feel a bit of a fraud? I'm unclear about why it doesn't feel quite right.
Well, they're not unrelated, both of those, are they? It's kind of rephrasing the same idea, I think. And just not feeling I belong there. Always been a bit like that, I'm more.
Then if you go in the city, do you feel different?
Yeah, well, it's. Like in the city, this is why I'm sitting by water, right?
You've gone to a quiet bit of the
city. Always looking for the nature in the city, that's the paradox, right? Yeah, and I mean, because I always saw myself as kind of an academic or going that way, and that's so the city was an escape, and but then that became a trap, and that kind of, and I over-identified. So the fact that I was always giving myself away to something. So again, it's to come back to yourself and being comfortable in either one.
So maybe if you go through the process with the book you're doing and the action you're doing, maybe there'll come to a point of calm where you will feel comfortable in any situation. And actually, it doesn't matter where you are. Is that part of the point of it?
That would really. I mean, I think that's kind of my life philosophy as much as it is. And maybe it's that's the project. Maybe, yeah. I think that's It's a perfectly good point. Sums it up quite nicely.